Sorry it's a bit late. Welcome along to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. This is the player ratings for Newcastle versus Tottenham. Another loss at Wembley, which we are very much used to. But it keeps us grounded, I think, after that Man City win. It wasn't the worst performance in the world from us, but we were up against it. It wasn't a pretty game. My name is Emil, and the first name that we have to deal with, sadly, is the person that we have to speak a little bit more about today. Martin Dubravka. No way around it really. Was at fault for the goal. Don't really know what he was doing. Didn't really like the backlash that he was getting on Twitter because, believe me, you were probably shouting about how great he was at 4 million the other week, and then for you to turn around and start slagging him off, well, you know what, you're just as bad as the ones who bloody boo Perez when he comes on the pitch. A few mistakes slip in now and then, yes, keepers do that, even the best. De Gea, look at him. And yeah, it wasn't his most defining moment, but it can't be too hard because he knows he can bounce back. We can't be too hard on him, should I say. Dubravka getting a 5 this week, and I'm sure that that will go up in the next game, and those still to come. Yedlin, a few good blocks, but a few bad clearances as well. Those defensive mistakes, those weaknesses sneaking into his game. There was one really decent ball into Rondon, and he was working that pace along the wing as ever, but that hard work is done by other defenders on this occasion. Yedlin got a 6, by the way. Share, good solid showing at the back. I think it was his one of his better games for us. A few early shakes, but you know, he cleared off the line in acrobatic fashion. That one that had to go to the decision system on the ref's arm. 2 really good clearances actually, where it was kind of life on the line job. He was rushing in to stop Spurs a lot of the time, and a good Lamella ball in was when he kind of showed that. 8 for Share. Lascelles, there was a few mix-up in his game, but ultimately really led the line at the back. Some important challenges. There was a bit of a mix-up with Richie, which allowed Spurs to sneak in behind the back. That was kind of happening quite a lot with our lot. But he dealt with people like Moura, a last-ditch challenge on Llorente. Ultimately, a decent game from him. 7. Lejeune, he was sliding into block the balls as well. He was dealing with some strong players as well. You're thinking of people like Son, Eriksen, Lamella. Like I say already with Lascelles, the players were kind of sneaking in the back. Trippier was getting balls in. Just Spurs now and then sneaking behind, which is where we were left a bit vulnerable. Ultimately, the defence did a decent job, but Lejeune, he did give the ball away at one point. There was a few things, so I think since he's come back, this was probably one of his poorer games, but a 6 nonetheless. Richie, another strong game at both ends, both attack and defence. He managed to clear just off the line. Similar to Share, it was a little bit further up off the line. A cracking ball at the box as well for Perez, and Rondon. His corners are looking pretty good, and he's getting into good positions as well. He needs to maybe communicate a little bit with the defence a bit more. Like I said, when he had that mix-up with Lascelles, same going up front. Maybe he needs to make more of himself when Perez was through, and he could have maybe passed to Richie, I'm not sure. 8 for Richie. He came off for Barreca, who made his Premier League debut for us, and I must say I was quite impressed. He looked bright going along the wing. A lot of reports saying he was hogging the left side. And yeah, like nice bit of promise from one of the new signings, which is good. Obviously, we're yet to see the other one. Longstaff, again, he looked composed in this game against a tough opposition. You can't really fault the guy. He's 21. A few balls were missed opportunities. He did lash a ball in from about 30 yards out late on, but not really to be held account for in this game. He holds onto the ball so well, and he almost sent in Perez early in the second half. So 8 for Longstaff, another good game. He's been very consistent. Hayden, I think consistency again, key with him. Stood tall in some of the challenges. He managed to make some good interceptions, and he got into decent positions in those set plays. So when the ball kind of came out, Hayden was there to collect it. A few shots where one was blocked by Lloris, the other one just went over the bar. 7 for him. He went off for Fernandez. He had to just keep Spurs out in those late stages. Sadly, we were 1-0 down by that point, so not really much that he could do to change the game. I think it would be good if he could maybe get some more games in, maybe starting the games. But as things stand, we've got a very competitive defence. Atsu, I think he made some nice runs forward. Again, working well with Perez and Rondon, but he was largely quashed in this game. His skills weren't out there to be seen. He made a good steal from Sissoko, which we always like, and it almost set Rondon off. But I think, yeah, a bit more of a quiet game from Atsu, and who knows, when Almiron gets his game, maybe, I don't know, there's probably going to be some changes in that team. Atsu maybe want to be one of the ones who's going to go on the bench from now on. 6 for Atsu. He went off for Kennedy, who just frustrated, but only us. He didn't really frustrate Tottenham. He was faffing around, turning, and then not really changing the game, as he should do when he comes off the bench. I really feel for Kennedy, I've just got to say. I know he's looking pretty rubbish and he's not the player that we saw last year, but something's got to give. We know what he can do, and that will come back. So, fingers crossed for him. Don't be too hard. Perez, some unlucky misses from him. 1 in the first half. There was a great save from Lloris as well, which I've already mentioned. Maybe he should have set in Richie on that one. Richie ran into space, but Perez, it was a decent shot. And, of course, you're up against Lloris, World Cup winning keeper. Didn't have much to do in the game, but when he did, he was really turning it on. And he's starting to work with Rondon as well, I think, with Perez. He was obviously latching onto a few balls from Richie, Yedlin, where it was coming in, but he was doing little 1-2s. But I still think that Perez needs to understand Rondon's hold-up play a little bit more and see where things are going to go. 7 for Perez. It's going to be interesting now that he's going to maybe be fighting for his place once Miguel Almiron comes into the team. I expect you're going to start Almiron next game, but who is going to make way? Perez, Almiron in the same team, 2 very similar players. Is Almiron going to be this 21 million signing that we expect him to be? And, you know, without being horrible, who are you going to choose? 21 million or a 1.5 million? I'm not really sure, but, you know, fair play to Perez. If he comes off the bench and starts making some impact, then that'll be good. Rondon, powerful in his challenges. He needs to be a little bit careful with those silly free kicks. He might get himself booked on some occasions, but a great near assist for Perez, Chance, when he kind of put the ball in, and Perez was so close. He missed a rebound in the first half as well. Again, this is leading to this dangerous strike partnership that Perez and Rondon are building up, which makes me think Perez might keep his place and Almiron maybe just work behind them. Atsu dropped, perhaps. He's working across the field, unlucky at times. I would like to have maybe seen a few more clinical shots from Rondon, but I think in this game you're up against a very tough Spurs defence. 7 for Rondon as well. I do not think this is the end of the world in this game. The goal difference looks good. We still have that positive Man City to carry us forward now. I certainly think that we look better than some of the teams at the bottom now, certainly Huddersfield. I know Fulham are having a few blooms now and then, but let's just hold on hope that we are better than them. We didn't play bad against a top 6 side. I think that is a recurring theme for Newcastle. Some teams have a one-off game. We've done it against City. We've done it against Man United. We've done it against Arsenal some occasions. It's very unlucky with Spurs this year. And yeah, we might have nicked a point. Luck wasn't with us for this one, and don't be too hard on Dubravka. Like I said, Wolves are next. That's going to be a tough game. But that being said, I don't think Wolves were up to speed when they came to the home game, so who knows, we might nick something. We've also got Almiron going to play, we think, if this work permit happens. We've got build-up coming on the YouTube channel from the guys. The podcast will be about the Always Smiling Faces podcast. Do give it a listen, give it a review on iTunes and everything else, and previews coming soon from FIFA with Aaron. And yeah, all sorts going on. Subscribe, please, if you already do. Then please shout about it on Twitter, give reviews, whatever. Just click that like button, and we'll see you for the Wolves game. Fingers crossed, eh?